3, 2, 1,
Jingle! Happy time has just begun. Brother, sister, smart, dumb, fun.
yeah.
Hey, look, we're here. Can you guys hear us okay? Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
That's great, as long as you can hear me. That's the only thing that matters. That's awesome. Here, I suppose we have to put the microphone closer to the middle of us.
Maybe.
Oh, gosh, look at this. Oh, that's nice. That's good. What's up, you guys? Happy Sunday to you. We are coming to you an hour earlier than we normally do. It's because we got things to do.
Mm-hmm.
We are in our early preparation work. Tomorrow we start our Uberlite trip.
Uberlite 2024.
That's right. That's right. We're not coming home till we get Uberlites, damn it. Or on Thursday. You know.
Uberlite.
Uberlite. Let's go.
Uberlite.
Uberlite. Good job, Ann.
I don't know. Like, which way does the L go?
I don't know. It's always so confusing. So that's all right. Yeah. So here you'll notice that we are together today. We are both in Kalamazoo, Michigan. This is our home base until we leave for our Uberlite trip. We've got a lot planned. We got a lot packed into a short amount of time.
Yeah.
We are heading north tomorrow. We are stopping at the Dinosaur Gardens in some town that starts with an O. That's on Lake Huron. So, yeah.
Well, we're going to see all the lakes.
We're going to see a lot of lakes. So we're going to
Mhm.
see Lake Huron, Lake
Mhm.
Michigan, because as we go over the bridge, we
Mhm.
see the straits. And then we're also going to see Lake Superior,
Mhm.
A lot of Lake Superior.
Yeah.
And probably, what is it, St. Mary's River? Is that the one that runs through Sault Ste. Marie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
St. Mary's.
Yeah, so busy. So we're coming at you a little bit earlier because, like I said, we got things to do, places to go, people to see. But before we go, we have to talk about the Detroit Book Festival.
We do.
We do.
And some books.
And some books, because that's what we do. We
Mhm.
talk about nerdy things like that because reading is awesome. So
Mhm.
yeah. So here we are. I think this show might run a little bit short today. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Because, like I said, we got a lot going on this
I know.
week.
I'm so excited. I'm probably going to talk really fast.
Okay.
Because I'm super excited.
Okay, I know I am too. I've actually been practicing this week. I've been practicing my Uberlite hunting, and lo and behold, so earlier in the summer, Joe and I and Oscar, the guy who helped us out, put a bunch of river rock in our front yard, which looks amazing, by the way.
It does. Very
super nice.
professional.
But in looking at the Uberlite 101 video on YouTube from Aaron Rintamaki, who's the father of the Uberlite. He's now simply the patron saint of the Uberlite and the father of Uberlites. He said that if you look in your river rock, you might find Uberlites in your river rock. And lo and behold, I was on the phone with Joe the other night. I was river rocking, and I found one and had just an absolute kitten. I was so happy. I was like,
Yeah, she sent me pictures and I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. It's funny because when I got my Uberlites, in 2020,
yes.
I went and looked at all the rocks I had collected because I keep them all in this one spot. No Uberlites.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The good news, Anna, is I have saved you 2/3 of that rock pile for you. So both the stuff out front where the lavender is, the one that surrounds the lavender, and this entire north side of the house is all yours for Uberlite hunting. So practice. And I feel like I got my technique down. I got my painting technique down. I feel like I'm ready. Hoping for some good weather, but that's okay. I got my big yellow rain suit that everybody mocks me for and then wants it when it starts raining. I have this. I bought this rain suit years ago in Denver, and it is when I put it on, it has both raincoat and pants, and I look like the Gordon's fisherman when I have it on. And everybody makes fun of me, and they call it the banana suit and the Gordon Fisherman's girl, and ha ha ha. And then it starts raining like all get out when I got my rain suit on, and I'm nice and dry, and everybody else is wet. Fuck you.
I got my rain. I'm dressed as a condom. Thank you very much.
That's right. So I'm gonna have my yellow rain suit with me. Huzzah!
Well, at least I'll be able to find you in the dark.
That is correct. That is correct. So yeah. Anyway, I think we're ready.
I think so.
We'll have to discuss because we are probably going to do some early morning hunting rather than some late night hunting, which is the same depending on whether you're a night owl or a morning person. So anyway, yes. So that's been excited about this trip.
Me too.
And I know immediately that I was going to like this because back in the day when I was fossil hunting at the Florissant Fossil Beds, there's a private quarry just north of the Fossil Beds National Monument, just giving away hours and dollars hunting at this place because I can get into it. I can get that attached to it. So I can see myself getting very into this. Excuse me, and going, I found one. There's got to be another one. 5 more
This can't
minutes.
be the only
5
one.
more minutes. 5 more minutes. So, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that high of finding one, and then be like more.
It's never enough.
It's never enough. Nope. All right.
Mhm.
So anyway, let's get into this. Let's talk books. Let's talk about Book Festival.
Mhm.
And Anne, would you like to start us off with our synopsis?
Of course I would.
All right, hang on. I gotta bring us in here.
Okay.
I gotta bring it in.
Excellent.
I gotta get rid of our brand. Not that I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm just gonna take it off the screen. So, all right, Anne Brothers, it's all yours.
All right. So, welcome or welcome back to the Brother Sisters Smart Dumb Fun. We are Anne and Janice Brothers. Our last name is Brothers, and we are sisters. Not trying to be clever. It just worked out that way.
Totes.
Mm-hmm. We're in our 50s, Generation X, which means you know who said the following catchphrase or at least what show it came from. So, Jenny, first line, what you talking about, Willis?
Arnold from Different Strokes.
Very good. Gary Coleman was the original actor. Very good.
Totally.
All right, here we go. Dynamite!
JJ from Good Times.
Excellent. Excellent. Very good.
Fonzie. Happy Days. Duh.
Deplane. Deplane.
Tattoo from Fantasy Island.
Very good. And last but not least, Roll.
Oh, Robo Reggie. Scooby-Doo.
So if you're Generation X, you knew the answer to all of those well.
Oh my gosh, that was so fun. More.
I'm going to come up with more of them as I come. I'm just going to keep a list and we'll just keep doing that. All right. We talk about smart stuff, dumb stuff, if you hadn't noticed, and any and fun stuff and any combination of the three. We are not cool or hip or sexy. We get up for sunrises on vacation because sunsets are for amateurs.
Totally. Just anybody can do a sunset.
Exactly.
You gotta be committed to get up for a sunrise.
Exactly.
Committed.
Exactly.
That's right.
So we're not a celebrity, influencer, or true crime podcast. We're the Twilight Zone of podcast. There's always a new and weird adventure every week.
Good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Thank you. We are great to listen to when you want to learn things about stuff and because you need something to listen to when people you don't like are talking. Ugh, so much talking I don't want to listen to.
That's the best part of earbuds. And I know that's why the kids want to wear their hoods in school because then they just put their earbuds in and I can't see it. And I'm like, you know what, you guys? I get it. I totally get it. I wish I could do that at parties sometimes.
Exactly. Or while I was teaching you.
Oh my gosh, while I was teaching. I'm like, yeah, I gotta, I'm just gonna talk and pretend, earbuds in, pretend that everything is awesome in my classroom.
Exactly.
That's toit.
That's what I used to do. At least pretending part.
Yes.
Let's see. This podcast is not GPG or even PG-13 because we are talking about some fucking awesome books today, so we can't contain our excitement.
Yes, you'll have to earmuff your kids. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So join us on our website, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. You can like us, follow us, hit the bell, leave us a review, do it all. Give us your feedback with our Q&A, our questions and answers, and our polls. And you know what? You can ask your friend Alexa to play us, and she will.
Yes. Yes, she will. Because she's an upright chick. That's why.
Exactly. She's brat, Jenny. She's brat.
Oh God, that's right. That's the thing right now.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. I don't know what it means.
I don't either.
I thought they kept saying brat. I was like, oh, I like brats.
Brats. Those are so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I could look it up and figure out what that is, but I haven't yet because I just can't.
I'm too busy doing Gen X stuff. I can't do Gen Z stuff too.
I know.
No.
Is it Sigma? I don't. No. Anyway. Yeah, cool. So yes, these are all the fun places you can find us. Do that, and you guys. Not only should you like and subscribe and share and all that yourselves, but do us a solid and tell all of your people. They don't even have to listen to us. Just like, subscribe. That's it. That's all you got to do.
But you should listen to us because we're amazeballs.
Well, I think you should just listen to us because we're fun. And in the current political climate, we're and we honestly purposely don't talk about politics for that reason, because this is the place you go when you just need a break from all the stuff and all the horrors of living in the modern world. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about dumb stuff like this my nerdy Velociraptor T-shirt. So
yeah, that's a good one, Jenny Brothers.
I know it is. So I was reading an article this morning. Sorry, I'm totally off track here. I was reading an article this morning about the ethical conundrum of selling dinosaur fossils to private collectors. And
Hmm.
we're one of the few countries that allows that. Almost every other country makes, even China, makes people like when they all fossils go to the state so that
So
they
it's
can
like
be
everything belongs to the
correct.
government. All fossils belong to the government, or
Correct. So that they can be studied and shared with the people. And I'm like, that's not what we do in America.
exactly. That
Come
sounds
on.
very uncapital. That sounds very communist.
Hmm.
Um, I am of two minds. I like both ideas.
Well, like when the Field Museum in Chicago bought Sue, the big Tyrannosaurus Rex, which is a nearly complete fossil of that T Rex, they actually bought it through by collecting donations from private donors. And so now the guy that bought this, it was an American who bought this, and he will do the same thing. He said he's going to give it to a museum. He hasn't decided which one, but he bought it specifically because he wanted to keep it in American hands. So I'm like,
Oh,
well, that's interesting.
that's very
So
interesting.
I'm super happy for the family that found it, though.
I am
So
too. That's like, dang, that's a
yeah,
lot of it's I have a hard time saying to somebody who finds a dinosaur bones on their property, you can't do anything. You can't.
can't profit from that.
Yeah, I'm just enough of a capitalist to be like, I know if I found something awesome, yeah, while I was digging and I could make some money off of it, I would be inclined to do that.
Because you're
Mhm.
talking about the financial stability of your family. That's kind of a big deal.
It is kind of a big
Yeah.
deal, and since
No.
insurance, since health insurance is very expensive here,
God, is it ever?
I'm like, I don't know,
Yeah, exactly. So, all
exactly. So,
right. Anyway, so like I said, I got off track. Anyway, like and subscribe, all that sort of good stuff. And there you go. Let's talk about the smart, dumb, and fun stuff that we did this week. Anne, would you like to kick off?
well, I did something both smart and fun.
Nice.
With the Detroit History Club. My friend Amy and we did a tour of the Detroit Observatory, which is actually in Ann Arbor.
What now?
I know, right? It was built
Music.
in Ann Arbor in 1854, and at the time, U of M was like six buildings in the middle of a cornfield.
So it's nice and dark.
So it was nice
Yeah,
and
okay.
dark. And this is the interesting thing. It was really built because there was no exact way to get time to know exactly what time it was.
Really?
And so what was it? He was a railroad lawyer, gave the first big donation so this could be built. And then basically it was built so that the Detroit Observatory could figure out what time it was based on the stars, and then they would sell that knowledge to different organizations and cities. And one of the places they sold it to was Detroit. So it was a way that's how they financed themselves, was selling time.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I did not know
So
that.
it's the Detroit Observatory because it was it was financed by rich dudes from Detroit in Ann Arbor. And I remember, and then it was abandoned, literally abandoned for 40 years. They just kind of locked the door and walked away from it for 40 years. So when I was in college at Eastern Michigan University, which is in Ypsilanti, which is the sister city of Ann Arbor, I would take the bus over to Ann Arbor almost every weekend. And the bus route I would take me by this observatory. And I wanted to go in there so badly, but of course it had been, just locked.
Disassembled, yeah.
Yeah. And so they were trying to tear it down to make more dormitories for the hospital, but a bunch of people got together and did all the paperwork you needed to do to make it a registered historical site, so they couldn't tear it down.
Nice.
And then in 2022, they opened up this new huge visitor center that connects to the observatory, and they give tours, and you can go. They have two telescopes. One is still in working order, which is amazing considering this building was closed, abandoned for 40 years, and people used to party in the basement. So it's amazing that they still have this
that nobody trashed it.
Yeah, that nobody really trashed it. So I got to go with my friend Amy. We went on the tour, and then you can move the whole dome because if you see the pictures here, if you look it up, there's a big dome. You move it with a big wheel. It's literally, like manpower. So I got to move the dome. I moved an entire roof by myself.
Hey, did you see that video that
Yes,
good, that Bailey sent? Yes.
Yeah, because Bailey Sisoy, who's the founding member, the founding mother of Detroit History Club, took a video of me moving a ceiling by myself.
Dude, she's strong. Physics loves you.
Physics loves me. So anyway, it was like 90 minutes. there was a bunch of like really cute little history majors who like, kind of directed the tour. God, they were adorbs.
Hmm.
And it was so fun. I was like, I've always wanted to do that, and I got to do it. And then Amy and I went out for sushi beforehand and cupcakes afterwards.
Nice. Well, that's a fun day.
It was an amazing day.
Super fun.
Oh, and congratulations to my friend Amy, who is now the newest principal for Northville Public Schools.
Good job, Amy.
Good job, Amy. I finally know a fellow teacher who's adult enough to become a principal.
Yeah, that's like one.
Literally one.
Yeah, you're the one, Amy. Good
You're the
job.
one. Good job. Good job. Mhm.
Yeah, there's no way I would do that. So
Yeah, me
good job.
neither.
Go, girl. You
Go.
go, girl. You get that principal
Exactly.
money.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Next time we go out, you're buying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Well, that's awesome. Yes. That sounds like a pretty good. Well, it's funny. That's the one over off of Huron. So yeah,
Yeah, it is. It's on gosh, I can't remember now.
it's like Observatory Drive or
Yeah,
something
actually
like
it's technically on Ann Street.
that. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, because you come around the corner for
Mhm.
Huron, and then you can go that way to the hospital. Then you go the other way to the observatory.
Yep.
I got it. Mental model.
Yeah.
There's the picture in my head. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Surrounded
the
by
number
U
5.
of M Hospital.
The number 5 bus.
Mhm.
Yes. All right. For me, smart, dumb, fun. I did smart and kind of dumb. I finally got on the Ted Lasso train. So it took forever because Joe and I tend to rotate our streaming services. So we
Mhm.
finally rotated around to Apple TV, and I finally watched Ted Lasso. And damn, I love that show a million. I've already watched it through. I was gonna wait for my husband to get back and then watch it with him, but then
Mm-mm.
I couldn't.
Mm-mm.
I just couldn't stop. I would say it's a great show, funny, a lot of feels in that show.
Oh, so
many
much
feels.
feels.
All I did the last 2 episodes was cry, and I'm not sure if that was the menopause or the show or maybe a combo of both. It doesn't really matter. But
No, I cried too.
yeah, and part of it for me is that soccer is very near and dear to my heart. I played growing up, didn't get to play in high school because we didn't have a women's team, and then I played a little bit in college. And soccer was the only. There's so many. It was one of my first sports that I was allowed to play because I couldn't play football. But when I was 10, Dad said I could play soccer, and it was the first sport and only sport that I ever got to play with my sister. And Anne and I were a formidable duo when we played together on the green team.
Yes, in defense.
Yes.
Yeah, we were killers.
We were, and it was fun.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Because neither Jenny and I were really afraid to get hurt, but
No.
we were definitely not afraid to hurt other people or
No.
hurt ourselves to hurt other people.
No, and I pretty much have carried that with me all through my athletic career.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of that was, I would say, a trademark, especially when I got to and played for Eastern's team. That's one of the reasons I got to play because A, I was fast, and B, I was aggressive, and C, I was not afraid to hurt or get hurt. Unfortunately, the hurtest I have ever been has been the result of soccer.
Me too.
Honestly.
Me too. I blew out my knee when I was 13. Blew.
Yeah.
Playing soccer.
I had when I was playing for EMU, I probably suffered 2, maybe 3 concussions, and I never said anything, so I wanted to keep playing. But yeah. A lot of that's
That's a very Gen X thing to do. I think most Gen Xers have at least one concussion because it was like if you could stand back up, then you were fine.
You're fine. You're fine.
You're fine. It's like it's kind of graying in and out. It's like shake it off, shake it off.
I might have been unconscious for a second, but I'm not now.
Exactly. Now I'm fine. I'm fine.
I know I shouldn't make fun of that, but yeah, that's but no, and it was literally one of the defining things for me was the ability to play soccer. So I will always have my favorite team is the U.S. women's national team. It always will be. And just love it. Love that show. We'll watch it again.
Oh yeah.
We'll watch it again.
Can't wait till our Apple thing comes around again. Once Severance comes back up for the second season of Severance, we'll get Apple back and then I'll rewatch Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Tart Jamie Tart. Sorry. Okay, I've been doing that all day. All right, let's talk Book Fest. So all right. Last week we went to the Detroit Book Fest.
Detroit Festival of Books.
Sorry, Detroit Festival of Books, my bad. And we didn't really see a lot of books. All right, anyway, Anne, why don't we start with your review of the Detroit Festival of Books, and then we'll do mine. So
okay.
All right.
So I'd like to set it up. My niece, Kylie Williams, texted me months ago asking if I wanted to go to this festival with them. If they could spend the night and we could go to this festival together. And I was like, of course, I love the idea of a festival of books. And so we had this on our calendar 4 months. It is a great idea. It was a great idea, but it's been going on for 10 years. It's a great idea, but it was very poorly executed. Too many vendors, in too small of a place. And so many people, you couldn't even get to the books. Like Jenny and I went down all of the aisles, and literally if there were books, I wouldn't know because I couldn't see them because I was like three people on one side, three people on the other. It was a mess. It was hot because there was just so many people there. So it needed to be in like twice the size of space. And it still would have been crowded then. So it was too small. There might have been plenty of vendors. I don't know.
I don't know.
I couldn't get to any of the books. It's run by lots of well-intentioned volunteers who don't know what's going on. And I'll just say that the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and it was hellacious. In fact, at one point, we were all kind of getting a little anxious, and Kylie and Jenny and I, we went and sat in this little vestibule area, and there was these other two ladies, and they're like, "We're too anxious to go back in." So we all just sat together and started talking about where's the best place to resale shop, you know? I was like, this is our book club. This is awesome. That was the best part. It's held at the Eastern Market in Detroit, which, if you've ever been there, is a very large space, but we were only in shed number 5. And so that's a very small section of it. If they had even just opened it up into the parking lot next door to shed number 5, it would have made a huge difference. So it's held at Eastern Market, which is such a cool place. But the event space, like I said, was just too small. It was very disappointing. I had my cash. I was ready to go spend some money on books and book related paraphernalia, like book related t-shirts, book related jewelry, book related socks. I was going to spend. I was going to shop hard. I didn't buy a damn thing.
She was gonna book, yo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very disappointing.
Yeah.
Detroit Festival of Books. You need to do better.
Yeah. They gave you a survey that you could fill out. God, even the survey was disappointing. The survey was like 5 questions, and the first 2 questions were like, "How old are you? What's your name? Where are you from?" And then it was like, did you buy any books? And then there was literally no suggestion for how to make this event better. And they knew.
They
They
knew.
knew. They're like, we don't want to know because we're gonna. So
Because we're not doing good.
yes. So this is my review of the Detroit Festival of Books, and as you can see, I have simply included a picture of a sad panda. So
How bad is it when you have to make a panda sad?
yeah, it is. That's yeah. So the Detroit Festival of Books would have made any panda sad. It
Mhm.
made this panda very sad.
Mhm.
So my streak of good job, Detroit Festival of Books. My streak of hating festivals continues. I don't like festivals anyway. I don't know when this started for me, but I don't know. I don't love things where you mill around it's always 1,000 degrees. The porta potties are always overflowing. Everybody smells bad. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get festivals.
This festival smelled like patchouli.
Oh my God, it was like getting hit with a patchouli 2x4.
Exactly. Get your patchouli stink out of here.
Yeah, so I went because my sister was going, and I really love Kylie and Liz, and I'm like, we're gonna do this. And I love Detroit, so I'm like, there's winning all over the place. And if I have to put up with a festival, it's fine. It took me about 4 minutes to realize. We walked in, I'm like, I already hate this.
Exactly.
Yeah, so because for me, festivals are amusement parks without the rides, and since my concussion-riddled brain can no longer do rides anymore, which is a sad day when, man, the first time you walk off a roller coaster and everything's the wrong way, you're like, uh-oh, this is over.
Yeah, I'm old now.
Yeah. So, yeah, if there's no rides and there's no elephant ears, we're done.
Mhm.
So that's kind of what this was for me. And again, I too was excited to see, and yeah, I like books. I like to read. I like book stuff too. And it was like you literally were just kind of trying to get into the flow of the bodies, and then you would have, yeah. And I swear to God, people who bring dogs to festivals, and I get bringing your kids, but people in their giant war wagons, that does not help, man. The giant double wide strollers with that, and I get I'm not saying don't bring your kids. I'm not saying don't bring your strollers, but that does not help.
It does not.
Yeah, like I said, just way too many people, and I wouldn't say that I have social anxiety per se. I really don't, but I do not like to be in big crowds of people because I'm always afraid I'm going to be trampled to death or die in a fire. But that's
That's not anxiety.
That's not anxiety at all. It's fine. So, it's not like I was like hyperventilating and trying to crawl over humanity, but I'm like, you know what? I do not like this.
Mhm.
The good news is that we were able to kind of work our way out of was it Building 5,
Uh-huh.
and kind of because they have their big farmers market there every weekend, and so we kind of got opened up into the larger farmers market area, and that was actually really pleasant because you could actually get to the caramel corn lady and enjoy some caramel corn samples.
Yeah, we had honey samples.
Honey samples, caramel corn samples, sampled some cherries. So that was lovely. That was actually really nice. I really liked that. Also the nice thing about going to a festival in Detroit is that you're still in Detroit. So afterwards we lasted not even an hour really at the book place.
Yeah, maybe 45
minutes. So we didn't, and then we went to Sister Pie afterwards because Sister Pie is open on Sunday, and I had some delicious pie, and I bought some treats afterwards. That zucchini muffin was really good.
Yeah, that was.
But there was these strawberry cream cookies, and they were made up with a choux pastry that was coated in yummy sugar. Oh yeah, girl. Couldn't get those in my face fast enough. So
we had this blueberry lemon creamy pie. Oh my god, it was so good.
Yeah. So Sister Pie salvaged the trip, and then we went to Belle Isle afterwards and hung out at Belle Isle and went to the aquarium and saw axolotls and bought a T-shirt with the Belle Isle slide on it, which is America's favorite painful slide.
Talk about amusement parks.
And it's just really great because Belle Isle is really making a comeback. The state of Michigan has done a nice job. How long was that? 10 years ago?
I want to say it was 10 years now.
That Detroit, the city of Detroit, Belle Isle used to be a city park. They handed it over to the state for the next 99 years, and the state is really working to restore Belle Isle to its former glory because it wasn't very glorious for a very long time. So
yeah, it was not well funded. There just wasn't any way to fund it, and now it has some state funding, and it's a slow process. This park is huge. This island is big, and so they've little by little, first thing they started with working toilets.
Working toilets, man.
That goes a long way.
It does.
That goes a long way.
And they've revamped, they've perked up and revamped the aquarium, and they're in the middle of the revamping their botanical gardens, which is really beautiful. And
yeah, and in summer the fountain is working again, and they're also it's a big building. It's called the casino, and they're remodeling that so it can be an event space. So they're again patching the roads, making sure the toilets work, making sure the beach is clean, that sort of thing.
Nature Center's all perked up.
Nature Center is looking awesome. So
Belle Isle, go Belle Isle. So yeah, that was nice. That was cool. And again, it was just really great to hang out with Anne and Liz and Kylie.
And my niece Kylie, she had never been to Belle Isle before.
No, she had.
So we got to take her to Belle Isle for the first time, and that was fun.
Yeah. It was fun. So it was a really good day, even though the Festival of Books was the Festival of Crap. So
I'm sure there were some books there. Didn't see them.
Well, no, there was books because Liz bought some. She got to the books. She
managed
dove in.
to.
She did. She elbowed her way into some books. Well done. So
good job.
Yay for that. All right, so shall we talk about what we're reading right now, Ann Brothers?
Yes, because how long can you say bad things about Detroit Festival of Books?
We did it for a solid 10 minutes.
Exactly. So this is I just picked some of the books that I'm reading this summer, and I just finished this one. It's the Brave the Wild River, the untold story of two women who mapped the botany of the Grand Canyon.
Nice.
And it's about Ilzada Clover, which is a great last name. Clover, plants.
If you're going to be a botanist,
yeah,
Clover's a great last name to have.
And Lois Jotter, and how in 1938 they ran the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon on a 6-person expedition. Their intention was to collect and make a record of as many of the plants as they could find. No one had ever done so extensive of a plant search in this area until then. And they were also the first two women to successfully go down the Colorado through the Grand Canyon. This had only been tried by one other woman and her husband on their honeymoon, and they both disappeared. Nothing was ever. They found their boat. They never found them. So this was in 1938 when women couldn't do things.
Well, apparently we still can.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Exactly.
No politics.
No politics. So anyway, so this was in 1938. And Duncan picked out this book for me. He's very good at picking out books for me. These women were, Clover was a professor at U of M, and Jotter was getting her master's degree in botany. At the time, botany was part of biology, but it wasn't its own separate field of study yet, and their work helped bring botany into this.
It got its own category.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it got its own science.
of course, at the time, it was 3 boats, 6 people, 3 boats. All the boats were wood.
Oh,
I know,
that's-
right? And so it was,
God.
it was something else. And because the men were the ones that steered and rowed and got the boats going, it was the ladies' jobs. They did everything else. They did all the cooking. They did all the mending. They did anything else, building the fire. They
Oh
would,
my
they
God.
would get up before anybody else and make breakfast, and then they would go collect plants. And of course, if you've ever done anything around that part of the world, there's a lot of cactus. There's a lot of plants there that work very hard to live. And so the way they work hard is with thorns and needles and, other aggressive tactics. But they found like, if I don't think I think it was over 500 specimens, some that had never been described before.
Cool.
And it actually opened up like just their record, which is still at parts of it are still at U of M. I mean, there were people all over the world who came to study what they had collected.
Nice.
Remarkable women. Elzada Clover, after this, was eventually became a full professor. It was just amazing story of what these women did, and it got national news. This was a internationally, because there was no way to keep in touch with these people.
Well, no, because it was the Grand Canyon in 1938.
Exactly. So there was no, cell phones, radio, none of this. There
That
was
was
no.
so. It was that was still really wild at that point.
Exactly.
Really wild.
So they would they had 2 different places where they had to show up, where there would be civilization, quote unquote, and kind of check in and get more supplies. And at one point they were like 6 days late, and there was like newspapers and all kinds of broadcasts that they were already dead.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and of course, all these people saying that women couldn't go, they were going to be a detriment, they were going to slow people down, they were going to make it unsafe for the men who were in the on this
Their
expedition.
tiny lady brains can't do this.
Pretty much, Jenny. It was insulting, and these women didn't want to be known for the expedition. They wanted to be known for botany, and
Right.
so they would get interviewed over and over again and asked stupid questions about, how are you handling this? Are you making it harder for the other men? And nobody would ask them questions about botany. And they're like, we're here to collect plants. And they're like, oh, plants, little lady? And they wouldn't even mention it. I was just over and over and over again. So these remarkable people, everybody that was on the expedition was remarkable. This was not an easy thing to do. They made it. They made the study of, and the thing is, before this, the actual study of a whole ecosystem was not very common. They were thinking this was still, the Grand Canyon was part of the national park system, but they had brought in like a bunch of non-native species to make it more pleasant for people who were visiting. Because
Absolutely.
no one had ever done like a complete study of an ecosystem to see what should we do to maintain the system. So their study of all sections of the Grand Canyon, from the very floor up to the very top, was used in order to make other parks more sustainable in their natural form.
Neat.
I know, exactly. The whole study of ecology got a big boost from them.
Nice.
So that's one of the books, and I just finished it. It was lovely, and I couldn't put it down. So I talked about that for a long time. Sorry.
That's okay.
Another book I'm reading right now is Opinions, A Decade of Arguments, Criticisms, and Minding Other People's Business by Roxane Gay. And this is actually a collection of contributions that she made to the New York Times as an opinion writer over the past 10 years. And I've read a number of her books. She's awesome. She's got a great sense of humor. She's very observant. She does actually, she lives in Indiana. She's a professor, I want to say, in Bloomington.
Nice. Indiana University?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
She's super. When I think of the word erudite, I think of Roxane Gay.
Yeah.
She's just fucking smart.
Yeah, her parents are Haitian, so she's first generation. She's so hilariously funny, and she's just an amazing writer. And the thing is, like, so how I'm reading this book is I'm just reading one opinion a day, basically. So you can sit down and read the whole book at once, but if you just read one of and they're only like 3 or 4 pages,
Right?
and
Because
just
they're
gives you
newspaper pieces, yeah.
right? And they go back 10 years, so you can remember the time and the place where this was written, and what she, her observations and how things have changed. And it's just really, it's very interesting. And I just love the way she writes.
Nice.
So I'm enjoying that book as well. And then also continuing in nonfiction, I just kind of started this one. I'm only about 50 pages into The Duchess Countess, which is The Woman Who Scandalized 18th Century London by Catherine Olster. And this book is about Elizabeth Chudley, a girl who rises above her means to become the force of nature that even brought down that wasn't even brought down when she was charged with bigamy.
Ah,
It's called Duchess Countess because she was married to a duke and a count at the same time.
atta girl.
Yeah. So while George III was losing America, everybody in England was focused on this trial because here she was. She had been well raised, but kind of like an aristocrat with no money.
Gotcha.
And so she was smart, she was funny, she could speak French, she was very attractive. That's all she had, and man, if that bitch didn't run with it. So this has been a very entertaining book. And of course, I'm still reading The Backyard Bird Chronicle by Amy Tan, because again, like the Roxanne Gay book, I can read it one diary entry at a time. So, and that's really, I love doing this because it really lets me I just can really stretch
You
it
can
out.
savor it.
I know.
No
So,
savoring.
no savor. Oh, I love that. So that's that's the nonfiction I'm reading right now. So the fiction I'm reading right now, actually, I'm listening. I usually listen to my fiction. And so this is all my Audible, what's going on in my Audible. I talked a little bit about Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. I'm in my second listen to this because I can't get enough of this book. And it's funny because my other book that I listened to before this, The Book of Ruth, both of these are parts of the Bible. So I think I have a theme going on here. The Book of Ruth, I've read a dozen times, and I just listened to it for the first time. And the woman who reads it is phenomenal. But it's the first time when I bought this book, it was at the Tattered Cover downtown in Denver.
Oh, Tattered Cover, which just got bought up by Barnes and Noble.
Oh, I love that because it was when you still lived with Anne.
Totally.
Yeah, so I walked the 4 miles into town, and I bought this book, and it's a story about a young girl in a small town. So I was like,
I can relate to that.
I can relate to that.
Totally.
And it's just the language for both of the Octavia Butler book, Parable of the Sower, and the Book of Ruth. The language of it is beautiful, and it's one of the reasons why I like Cormac McCarthy. Is like he always writes about just depressing things.
Boy, does he ever!
But his language is so gorgeous. I can't stop reading it, and I feel the same way about both of these books. Is that they're both sad and difficult books to read, but their language is so beautiful that I can't. Being able to listen to it is it's delicious. Listening to them is delicious. All right, and then I also read this was a nonfiction, Blood, Sweat, and Chrome, which is it's the true story of the making of Mad Max Fury Road, and it's done as an oral history. So he interviewed just about everybody he could find, and everybody was very open about this. And makes you want to go back and rewatch the movie.
Totally.
But it is fascinating, and it's like this is why we don't get a lot of good. I shouldn't say we don't get a lot. This is why it's so hard to get an original movie out of Hollywood. If you have to fight this type of battle, most don't win.
Uh-huh.
He just got lucky enough to win this battle, and we got this remarkable movie.
Okay.
So that's what I've been reading and or listening to right now.
Well done, Ann Brothers.
Thank you.
Excellent. Mine is a little bit less, I would say, diverse right now. So, well, the first thing I did is I because I'm not, things aren't hard enough. I went ahead and reread *Handmaid's Tale* from Margaret Atwood. I read this book about 20 years ago, and I decided because why not read it again? And it really is just it's not a great choice.
Mm-hmm.
So then, of course, as soon as I finished it, I had to turn around and read the Testaments because I had not read that one yet. Testaments, which is the sequel to *Handmaid's Tale*. And so you said something about Octavia Butler last week when we were talking, and I would say the same thing about Margaret Atwood, is that however they do it, these are two women that they have seen into the future, and it's terrifying.
and it's terrifying. Exactly.
Yeah. And I would say that about Margaret Atwood also with like Oryx and Crake. There's another one that she wrote where there's so much I see so much in corporate America that translates that it just hits me like I'm like, oh God, that was in Oryx and Crake. It's just yeah. So Margaret Atwood is I feel like she's working on some other level.
She's an oracle.
I believe she is an oracle. It's not awesome.
It's not awesome.
I always dive into some self-help books. So right now my self-help book is Atomic Habits. Pretty good book, actually. Really enjoying it. Basically, it talks about small changes in order to make big changes in your life. Not that I feel like I need to make big changes, but you can always get a little bit better. And so, for me, it's just always about, get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. So yeah, it's not a very long read. It reads pretty quickly. I highly recommend it if you're just looking to kind of shake things up a little bit. So Atomic Habits, you should do that one. So that's I'm a big fan of nonfiction. Kind of that's where I'm at. So a lot of what I'm doing. So I've been slowly but surely reading the the book series, The Song of Ice and Fire, which is the book series that Game of Thrones is based on. And I'm in the fourth book right now, which is Feast of Crows. And it's amazing this world that George R. Martin has created, because you basically get about a tenth of it watching the series.
Yeah.
Honestly. And they do a great job of putting the series together. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I just really need George, listen to me. I need this from you. I need you to release Winds of Winter. And I need you to get it right.
Exactly. Finish the book.
Get it right. Because the show makers did not get it right.
Exactly. Finish the book, old man. Finish the fucking book.
Totally. We've got some commentary. Who's got comments with us? Tara, what's up, Tara Trotter? Demon of Unrest is so good. I know, right? So good. Eric, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm finishing with that one because I want to talk about it. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, that's my plea to you, George R. Martin, to finish Winds of Winter, get the story right, let us rest. Okay? Let us rest.
Exactly.
Anyway, all I have to say is
you better not die, old man. I will kill you.
Yeah. Dude, we speak for all people that are reading these series.
Yeah.
Let me just say this about his series is that it's very it really is an incredible work of art. The whole thing. It's so good. And what's great about, because I listen to the audiobooks, is that they're like 50 hours long. They're so long.
I love that. I love my fiction to be like, by the fucking pound.
Totally. And I always feel better about that when I'm using an Audible credit. I'm like, if I'm going to use an Audible credit, I don't want it to be. I spent an Audible credit on like a book that was 5 hours, and I felt
Jenny Brothers.
I know.
Oh man, I felt cheated if it's under 13, and I was like, I look for books that are like, oh, 45 hours. Yeah,
let's go.
Come on, sexy.
So yeah, so if you're gonna read Winds of Winter, yes, Tara, you are absolutely 100% correct. Size matters. It does. Size matters, especially when you're using an Audible credit. Size matters.
Size matters.
So anyway, and I love it because I get away from it for a little while and then I come back. I get away from it for a while and then I come back. And I love the fact that I still have to read. I still have to read Dance with Dragons. That's my next one. That's the fifth book, and I'm like, George. Rumor has it next spring. I can't even right now. So yeah.
We don't know the future either. That's what drives me nuts.
I know, right? So anyway, again, Backyard Bird Chronicles. I'm pretty much taking the same tactic as my sister, where I'm just kind of a little nibbling. I often intend just to read one, and then I read more.
Sometimes, yeah, because I can't. I was like, yeah. What's the next bird book? What's the next pictures?
Correct.
Ooh, these are beautiful drawings. Oh, I guess I should read it.
Yeah. And then the final one I'm reading is Eric Larson's Demon of Unrest. I'm a humongous Eric Larson fan. I think when it comes to picking out interesting events in history and then just researching the absolute fuck out of them, Eric Larson I think he's one of the best right now. So he wrote Devil in the White City, which is an incredible chronicle of the Columbian Exposition and the H.H. Holmes serial killer at the same time. He wrote Isaac Storm, which is about the Galveston hurricane in 1900. What an excellent account that is. Riveting. You wouldn't think that, writing about a meteorologist could be that riveting, but it is. And this one is about the bombing of Fort Sumter, which essentially marks the beginning of the Civil War. And I'm just a few minutes into this, and yeah, Tara, I would agree. His attention to detail is really amazing, and you would think that minutia would be boring or somehow tedious, but it's not. It just adds layer upon layer upon layer to the story. And I think what's interesting about the Demon of Unrest is that it's amazing how little has changed in terms of what we are dealing with in the Republic. And some of the quotes that Lincoln has, especially at the beginning of the book, where you're just like, oh, shit, that's relevant right now. And so, yeah, it's really disturbing in the sense that it's again, despite the fact that this took place so long ago, that it's still really relevant right now, especially with what's happening in our country right now. And it makes me, I want to, it makes me feel really, I love reading this sort of thing, but it also makes me feel bad at the same time, because I'm like, well, we're just running right into this buzzsaw again, aren't we? Like, about that.
We just can't do it fast enough or hard enough.
God, I know. So anyway, it's great. And again, like I said, Eric Larson's the man, and I really just love his work. So yeah, I highly recommend that. But that's kind of what I've been working on an instructional design program, so I haven't had as much read time as I like to. But and I myself, I'm going to go ahead and get on my soapbox for a minute about there's this for a lot of like really serious readers, they don't do the audiobook thing because it's somehow they're purists and it's somehow not reading. And for me, I just, that's bullshit. So, and how much time, did you spend as a kid with somebody reading to you? It's the same thing here.
No, and I think I agree. It lets me hear stories when I don't have time to read the story myself, and I have found that I don't read less because of my Audible subscription. I actually read more.
Yeah.
I have more story going on, more stuff to think about. I love my Audible. I love it. In fact, if I had to give up all my streaming and just keep my Audible,
dude, I would totally do that.
I would be totally fine.
Tara, this is a great quote from The Onion. History sighs and repeats itself. I love The Onion so much.
Brilliant. Thank you, Tara.
Mary O'Neill, I'm thinking of you because when I was teaching in Littleton Public, my friend Mary would bring me a fresh copy of The Onion pretty much every Monday. And it was so great because the Onion they are geniuses at just changing one little thing and making it brilliant. All right. Tara's With Us memories are better as audio. Okay, memoirs. I would agree. Memoirs are better as audiobooks.
Especially if you get the person who wrote the book reading it.
Yes. Again, Bossy Pants, I'm looking at you.
Yes.
Because that's written and read by Tina Fey. And yeah, it's fantastic. But yeah, I and for me, like I don't sit very well. So for me, I like to busy myself a lot of the time. So I love audiobooks because I can mow my lawn and listen to my audiobooks, and I can do my dishes and listen to and I can clean my house and do my audiobooks. I can water my flowers and listen to my audiobook. And that's why I can drive and listen to the audiobook. So that's why I love them, because it goes wherever I'm going. It's with me, whatever I'm doing. And I just love the fact that I can do those things. I can multitask in that way. I know I don't sit well. Sorry. I know. And then I read an article this morning that said maybe I have an adult ADHD. I don't think that's true, but
I don't know.
They're like, do you have trouble sitting still? Do you have trouble with this? I'm like, yeah, I have all those things, but I just figured it's because I have a busy head.
I got busy brain.
I got busy brain. That's okay. Yeah. So, all right. I think that's all I had. Yeah. So that's it, you guys. You did it. We talked about books. We talked about the Disappointing Book Festival. We talked about, well, and let me just stress, I don't want to focus on the Disappointing Book Festival. I want to focus on the Positive Pie.
Positive Pie. Detroit's awesome.
Yes.
Sister Pie is awesome.
Yes.
Pie is awesome.
Yes.
The Belle Isle Aquarium is awesome.
Yes.
Belle Isle is awesome.
Yes.
The books that we talked about are awesome.
Yeah, and I would say right now, as far as I'm really enjoying, because I'm basically alternating between Feast for Crows right now and Demon of Unrest. So I would say I'm equally obsessed with both right now. So
that's good.
Yeah, I know.
A little fiction, a little nonfiction.
And I'm not as good with fiction. I have a harder time reading fiction than I do. As I've gotten older, I really have grown attached to nonfiction.
Yeah, I read way more. I read like, I usually have at least 4 nonfiction going and 1 fiction.
Right.
So and that's an opposite of what it used to be for me. I used to do only fiction, but I just love nonfiction now.
Me too. I like learning I like learning things about stuff.
Me too.
Oh my
gosh. Have I heard that before?
All right. So yes, you've spent another hour or so, in this case, 48 minutes, learning things about stuff. And remember, we want to hear from you. We have polls, we have questions. So please give us your questions, concerns, comments, and confessions. I know we still haven't gotten any confessions, have we?
I know. And I think I've confessed a number of things.
Yeah, we've learned about your habits when you were younger.
And I was bored in a small town, and
time in Jones Goddard.
And I always thought I was on the edge of like losing everything. So I am one of those fuck it, flame on.
I get it. Tara apparently wants to confess.
Yes, Tara.
We're listening.
We're
Give her
listening.
full attention.
Tara,
Yes.
confess.
Confess. Confess to Game of Thrones. Confess. Shame
Exactly.
none.
Shame none.
Okay.
Shame.
Yes.
We're
Nothing.
still waiting.
Nothing. We're still waiting for a confession.
All
Nothing.
right,
Okay. So
okay.
anyway, we're gonna move on. So make sure you guys that you join us. Again, don't forget to like us, subscribe. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music.
Mhm.
And again, you guys, we're going to, like I said, we're going to ask you to please reach out to your people. Say, hey, look, here's the link to the Brother Sister Smart Dumb Fun on YouTube or Spotify. You should go look at them, listen to them, or just subscribe, because you don't even rate us. You don't even have to listen to us full time. You can just do those things.
But please, after listening to this, why wouldn't you become obsessed?
Yeah, this is
with
quality.
the Brother Sisters.
Quality.
Mhm.
So it's true. It's quality. All right. Join us next week when we discuss our trip to the Upper Peninsula as we hunt for Uperlites. Yeah, let's go. Uperlites. That's right. Yes. Because I was trying to explain the other day why I would do this, and I'm like, why not?
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you want to do this? It's interesting.
Mhm.
It's a part because here's the thing, which I think is the most fun of all, is like, these rocks are 1 billion years old. Uperlites are 1 billion years old.
Mhm.
People. It's toit.
It's toy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, well, apparently Sarah's not going to confess anything.
Well,
Fine. That's
lame.
okay. Don't be mean.
Okay, I'm not. I'm just
all right.
stating
So
a fact.
I'm going to turn on our outro music as we get ready to leave for another. So we've got some tasks to. We're out of here bright and early. We're going to go. We're going to get up. We're out the door by 6. We're getting coffee. Let's go.
Exactly.
All right. So I'm going to bring in the outro music. Again, you guys, I have no idea if my microphone works because it doesn't like the music. So I'm just going to keep talking like it is. Anyway, I am Janice Brothers, and with me is my sister.
And brothers.
That's right. And we want you to get out there, do something smart, do something dumb, do something fun. I'm going to put my brand up. And we are out of here.